Monkey, find me.
You asked me to figure out where this video was recorded, so I did. Hi, I'm josemonkey, and I find people who ask to be found. Finding the location in today's video wasn't easy, and it took me a long time to do it. Fortunately, my persistence paid off, and I eventually found the exact spot where this person was standing when they recorded the video. Let's take a look.
Monkey, find me.
So what can we see? This person begins the video by asking to be found, and I noticed right away that they had very reflective sunglasses. Now that reflection didn't show me anything too helpful, but it did tell me something important. I'll come back to that. As they show us their surroundings, we can see that they're in a parking lot that appears to be on somewhat of a hill. There appears to be a sign at the end of the lot here, and the style of writing that we see on the sign was very evocative of what you usually see associated with baseball. It's sort of a handwritten font with a trailing tail on the last letter, which is a pretty common style. But I had no idea what it said. As I turn the camera a bit more, we can see not one, but two large communication towers across the street. We can also see some other type of machinery or equipment inside of this fence. Next, we see that there is a residential area and also a nearby intersection. There might be some street signs here, but they're not really readable. And as they turn a bit more, we can see that the paved lot ends here and another unpaved lot begins.
Yo, 2 parking lots in one video? That's crazy.
We can see that there's a gate here that opens up into another area, also some dumpsters here. And then finally, we get something more interesting to look at. As I keep turning, we can see what looks like a baseball field, and then just up the hill from that, we can see another field, which I assumed was a football field because we can see a goalpost in the end zone here. And then they finished their video with pretty much the same view from the beginning. Okay, let's talk about the sunglasses. Like I said, the reflection didn't show me anything that I hadn't already seen elsewhere in the video. But it was important because that reflection helped me to confirm that that part of the video was recorded at the same location. And that's important because the way this video was recorded in 2 separate takes is dangerously close to not following my rules. If I had not been able to confirm that that first part of the video with the request was taken at the same location, I might have had to skip this one. So guys, just a reminder, the best way to avoid that problem is to have your request to be found part of one continuous shot where you show me the location. Okay, so how are we going to find this place? Now you guys have heard me explain before that you can find places by looking for businesses in close proximity to each other, like if you have a Taco Bell close to a Walmart or something like that. But businesses are not the only thing that you can search for in the OpenStreetMap database. In this case, we have a baseball field and a football field relatively close to each other, which is pretty common. But we also have this pair of communication towers very close by, and I suspected that that was far less common. So I thought maybe I could look for that combination of things to find this place, but I wasn't really sure where to look at first. The hilly nature of this place made me think of places like Tennessee or West Virginia or other spots in Appalachia. But honestly, with the way this looks, there are several states where this could be. Now, I didn't want to search the entire country all at once because I was worried that this query might be a bit complex and take a long time to run and possibly time out. One of the things that makes this particular search a little bit more complex is that I'm looking for 2 towers close to each other. Whenever you're looking for one thing very close to another instance of the same thing, it makes the query a little bit more complicated. It slows things down quite a bit, and honestly, that type of query does not scale very well if you have a lot of nodes to search. Having said that, I came up with a query that I thought worked pretty well. As it turns out, the search order matters quite a lot here. So I constructed the query in such a way that I would look for football fields first, and then look for baseball fields that were close to those football fields. Once I found those, I could look for communications towers that were nearby, and then if I found one, I could look for another tower that was close to this first one. So that's what I did, and I tried picking a few states to search in. But it seemed like no matter what state I picked, I wasn't getting any results at first. I was really starting to worry that there was something wrong with the way I was searching, and in a moment of panic, I doubted myself and backed out that last bit, adding the communications tower to my search, and basically just looked for baseball fields near football fields. That considerably increased the number of places I was going to need to check. Since I was going to be looking at a lot of locations, I knew I needed a way to quickly rule out the locations that were not correct. And I didn't want to have to look at the street view for every one of them to do that. So I asked Chad to try to take a look at this place and draw a picture of what he thought it would look like from above. That would give me something I could compare to the satellite view as I was trying to rule out or confirm a location. So Chad got to work on that, and he eventually came up with this. Thanks, Chad. Okay, armed with Chad's drawing, I dove in to start looking at locations. And guys, I will skip to the end and tell you that I looked at many different sports complexes and schools where we have fields like this. And I checked several states. But I eventually found one place that looked very much like what we see in Chad's map. If we rotate this satellite image, we can see that the arrangement of fields, roads, houses, and towers all appear consistent with the positions from the video. So I zoomed in and checked it out. And when I did, one of the first things I saw was that sign at the end of the parking lot. And guys, that was it. You were here at Pleasant Hill Recreation Complex in Pleasant Hill, Missouri. I used the street view to confirm the view of those 2 towers, and also the view in the direction of the sports fields, which means that you were standing right over here by this crack in the pavement near the 3rd parking space from the end. Okay, real quick, just a little epilogue to my OpenStreetMap search. So as it turns out, my original query looking for a pair of communications towers was correct and would have worked. That is, it would have worked if I had looked in Missouri early in my search. Like I said, I ended up bailing out on that approach when I tried a few states and didn't get any results initially, but I think it's just because this particular combination of things is not all that common. In fact, if you scope that query to the state of Missouri and run it, you get exactly one result, and it's this place. So too bad I didn't look there first. I would have saved a lot of time. Okay, it's time to check which previous location was closest to this one. And this time it was in Season 1, Episode 167 in Kansas City, Missouri. That's about 22 miles or 36 kilometers away from the spot. Guys, go check out the map of all the places I've found for you so far from the videos you've sent me. And while you're on my site, maybe go check out my store, where you can get this shirt that I'm wearing, by the way. Or if you want, go sign up for my Patreon. And if anybody else wants me to find them, record a video where you say, "Find me, Jose Monkey," or something like that, on camera, or hold up a sign that says something similar. And don't forget to tag me in a comment on that video.